Mike Matson, I'm Department Chair in Manufacturing. Sorry, it used to be called Manufacturing Technology. We are now the Industrial Technology Department. And we changed our name to match our new building. In the last bond measure, we got this beautiful new facility. It's the Industrial Technology Center. It's almost an acre of beautiful shop space. Hope people come by and see it one of these days. And I hope by fall, we'll be in there full time again.
Is that on the main campus in Oregon City?
It's not Oregon City, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in for a year and a half, then COVID hit, and we're still kind of in there part-time, but not fully yet. But
okay,
it'll be nice. It still has that new car smell. Cynthia Risen has entered. I will admit her. So in the machine tool technology program, we train people to be machinists. And machining, as the kind of picture down here in the lower right-hand side, shows that machining is when we take slabs of material, chunks of material, and we turn them into useful machine parts like this turbine impeller. Machining jobs have been really strong even through this recession and the last recession. There's more demand for the jobs than there are people to fill them. So our curriculum includes the CNC machining, which is your computer-aided machining, if you will, robotic machining. We still do some manual machining, and we use a lot of CAD/CAM software, which is the software that helps us control the machines. It's a very popular program. This program's undergoing a significant overhaul this year, and we've got a new curriculum starting next year that really steps it up and brings students more into line with what's expected in industry. A related program is computer-aided manufacturing, and computer-aided manufacturing is a hybrid program that automates or that integrates the best of machining and automation for manufacturing. So a lot of the subjects include not just machining, but also CAD software, it's computer-aided design, CNC programming, manual machining, CAD/CAM, which is more software, robotics and automation, including some industrial electronics. So it's kind of it's a hybrid program that gets people kind of halfway between the design side and the manufacturing side. And pretty popular. We don't have a computer-aided drafting program, but we have a number of classes in computer-aided drafting. You might remember the old days when we used pencils and paper to draw things. We don't really do that anymore. Pretty much everything that's made in industry is made inside of a computer first. So we offer a lot of classes in some popular CAD softwares. We're shooting for a certificate, hopefully by maybe the end of next year. It won't be a full degree, but it'll be a short-term certificate. But in the meantime, we have plenty of classes in CAD that you can take. CAD is a foundation for a lot of areas of design and manufacturing. Renewable energy, another popular program. In renewable energy, you can learn to be a technician to work on wind turbines, solar installations, green building, really anything that has to do with green energy. And the skills that you learn in renewable energy are typically electromechanical skills, some programming, a lot of hands-on skills, construction skills, and then in addition to that, all of the information about renewable energy itself, the various types of renewable energy and the theory that goes behind those. There's a lot of mechatronics involved in that. This program's been around about 10 years now. And what we found is if somebody wants to work in the renewable energy field in our area without moving someplace, most of the activity is in solar. That is photovoltaic cells that are installed in commercial and industrial applications. The prices have come down significantly in the last 10 years, and it's becoming very, very popular. But we also find the skills in this program are so broad-based, other companies will come in and hire students out of this program for facilities maintenance, industrial maintenance type jobs.
What types of companies?
Well, for example, last spring, Intel came out and they were having a really hard time finding industrial maintenance people. Specific problem. And they have a group that deals with exhaust gases and the types of exhaust gases that they use in manufacturing chips. Now, some of the exhaust is acidic, some's base, some's volatile, and they were looking for people who were environmentally minded, but still had these really good, hands-on skills and theoretical skills.
Mhm.
And so they hired 2 people out of the renewable energy program for those jobs. And I just got a report back from them just yesterday, as a matter of fact. And both of them had been reported. They're making tons of money and they love their jobs.
Nice.
I'm having Intel is going to be out again next week, and they're going to do a virtual information session again to recruit. It's kind of recruiting season. There, on the technical side, it seems to be kind of a bottomless pit of demand and a very slim supply for people who can do those kinds of jobs. Great opportunities. We also have an industrial maintenance and mechatronics program. It kind of similar skills that you would see in renewable energy, but more on the industrial and facilities maintenance focus. So you think about electronics, electronic control system, hydraulics, fluid power, mechanical systems, anything from programming a computer to using a wrench to assemble or disassemble something for a repair. It's one of the hardest to fill positions in the industry. It's also one of the highest paying, and there's just not enough people to do these jobs. Tons of opportunities. So, you can think about high-speed automation, the kinds of machinery that takes care of packaging and sorting and production. This is kind of what this degree is aimed towards. We also have an electronics engineering technology program. So this is kind of a traditional training for electronics technicians. And we find students go to work in manufacturing. The students who come out of this program, I would say the majority of them end up at places like Intel, and then they end up being equipment technicians. And an equipment technician is a person who takes care of the machinery that makes the chips. So they usually work under an engineer. An engineer will be in charge of one machine, and they'll have 2, 3, 4 technicians under them. And I'll tell you a quick story. I had a student who came back and he said, I was repairing this circuit board for a machine, and it was the size of a motherboard in a computer, but it was worth $100,000.
Oh, gee.
And it was his job to repair it. And this kid, he just thrived on that kind of experience. He liked the pressure and he liked the challenge, and he was making really good money, and he liked it. Some people might not like it so much, but this also has an OIT transfer option, so you can finish off a bachelor's degree. And I know I'm kind of taking up all the time here, so I'm going to hurry on through. Related to electronics engineering technology, we also have microelectronics. So microelectronics is a technician training program to train people to work in the semiconductor industry. So you get about 3/4 of the electronics that you would in our EET program, electronics engineering technology, but then you focus on actual semiconductor manufacturing processes. And so this would be someone who's more interested in manufacturing processes in electronics as opposed to repairing machinery, maintaining machinery, and things of this sort. So, Intel, Microchip, companies like this are hiring. I had an inquiry just yesterday. A Taiwanese company is opening up a facility in Phoenix, and they want to hire about 1,200 people. And of course, they can't find them, so they're really reaching out. Semiconductors is one of those industries that's been identified as critical to national security, and we've offshored so much of it that there's a big push to bring it back onshore. And so I would expect to see a lot of that happening pretty soon. Anyway, so that's our kind of department overview here. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dustin. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share here, Dustin.
Well, thanks for that, Mike. That was really informative. So this is more about our educational focus area, and which includes industrial technology, but it also includes automotive and welding and what we do. I'll try to go through this a little quickly so that if you have any questions, we can get to those. But in the programs that I help to support, we have auto body and collision repair program. We have an automotive service technology that would be working on the systems of a vehicle and repairing and replacing those systems. And we also have the welding technology program. We do have some transfer opportunities within automotive and welding through Oregon Institute of Technology for 4-year bachelor's degrees that can, those credits will transfer over to that. And then activities and opportunities for engagement with the programs. We have multiple things throughout the year that we try to reach out and connect with prospective students. And then here's Jody Stapleton's email also for contact information.